Hi, I'm Camille.
And I'm Gretchen. Welcome back to Starting Over. It's our podcast. We're so happy that y'all are here.
Thanks for joining.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like there's just these moments that I've gone through in the last few months that I want to say time's up. So people that have been on maybe a trajectory of self-destruction or something they've gone through that they haven't really stopped and healed. It's kind of like people are hitting a little bit of a wall. And I'm watching these relationships. And so even like if you're in a relationship and maybe that person's done something or they betrayed you, I'm watching people not be able to let go and walk away.
And I think the question to everyone is, and we've all been there several times in life, but when is your gut full? When have you, I think at least in relationships, sometimes people, and you would know this, Camille, sometimes people are like, if I just hold on.
Yeah.
I just think that I can change them, or a situation can change, or I can forgive, or things are going to get better. But when have you had your gut full?
Well, and let's just talk about what is a gutful. Is it being betrayed? Is it being cheated on or something like that? Is that when they kind of had a gutful and you should walk away?
To me, it could be that. It could be even like when are you going to be priority for somebody? Or when are you going to be appreciated? And we're not saying like leave your marriage, and we're not saying leave that. We're just saying, when is it a time for you to say, hey, you know what, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling left out. I'm feeling, whatever it is.
Well, it's like when do you quit? Right. When is a good time? So you've had a gutful. When do you quit? And is it the right thing to do to quit? I'll tell you when you quit. When you have a son who's on drugs and you keep giving him money and trying to help him out, and he's gone to jail, and if he doesn't start sparking, I got to make my life happen if I don't do whatever.
Right.
That might be a time for the parents to quit enabling.
Right.
Because if you really want your kid to feel like he's got to do or die, he's got to hit bottom.
Right.
And so I think that's when there is a perspective of, when do I need to change to maybe affect a change on someone I love?
Mm-hmm. And ultimately, I mean, really, y'all, we talk about this all the time, and it may not land very well on some people because it may sound selfish, but you have to take care of yourself.
It's true.
Because again, that cup that's being filled, if you're waiting on everybody else to fill it, and they all leave, or they're in jail, or they're not around, you don't have any reserves. And when you don't have reserves, you will die.
Yeah.
Whether that's emotionally, spiritually, physically, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You just can't pour from an empty cup.
That's right.
And when you feel, that you're not being taken care of, whether it's by you or somebody else,
or like reciprocity,
yeah, you've got to take a stand for you. You just do, because you deserve it.
Yeah.
I think especially with people, I mean, you hear this all the time, Camille, in your practice with people that, oh my gosh, one person is just using that other person like a doormat. And the doormat is like, it's okay, they're worth it. They're worth it. For how long?
Well, and interesting that you say that the person that's taking the abuse, so to speak, or getting the gutful, is they're enabling it. Because what's going to happen if they say, I quit? Well, now they got to face a future that's uncertain. They know this, the devil they know. They're used to this kind of stuff. And what's it going to mean about them if they quit loving or quit helping, quit paying for? Are they going to be seen as, unsupportive? What's that future that they're going to live into going to look like? And that's why I think that stops people, why they really can't quit doing what they're doing inside of that relationship that's not working.
Because they're afraid of the future.
They're afraid of the unknown, absolutely.
And, really, statistics have just been so clear about people would rather stay in their misery than take a chance to see where their happiness could be.
That's right.
Because, I remember one time I did this story on ABC, and it was talking about the majority of people. The majority of people live within a 20-mile radius of where they went to high school.
Really?
They don't leave.
Well, I did not. I'm not.
You went 40 miles, didn't you?
I'm trying 60.
But that just shows you the comfort. People don't want to leave what's familiar.
Change is hard.
And even in, say, abuse or emotional neglect or whatever you're
used to,
whatever it is, if that's what you're used to, sometimes people become accustomed to thinking that's what they deserve.
Yes. And they don't even think that it's a right or wrong. I know, people that think I'm just ride or die no matter what. If she cheats, if he cheats, I'm just there forever. I don't know if that's realistic, to be honest with you.
Right. Right.
When do you renegotiate terms in the relationship? And is that really a healthy thing to do?
And when do you decide you're worth more
Yeah.
than that behavior?
Yeah.
Because basically, to me, I think any type of situation like that is saying, I don't care about your feelings enough to stop this behavior or to make a change or to say I'm sorry or to work on us.
Yeah. Well, and if they don't have to, because the enabler, right, is not going to change the giving aspect. I know of a rehab facility, and they're really good. It's called the Beacon House in California. It's a client of mine. I've done some training out there. But they require, if you have an addiction, they require a year commitment, and you have zero contact with anybody. Mm-hmm. No mama, no daddy, no wife. Like, you have no contact with the outer world. And I can see why, because
Right.
if you're killing yourself with drugs and you have an enabler as a partner and they just want to keep things going and not lose you, et cetera, because they love you so much or whatever,
Right.
it's actually harmful to
Right.
that person.
Right.
You see that? Yeah.
I have someone that I know in the family that has been in and out of prison,
Yep.
and every time this person gets out, this person goes to what's familiar,
His tribe.
not what's right, but
Yeah.
what's familiar.
Yeah, his friends.
And so
Yeah.
to me, I just think there has to come a time where you have to decide my health, my safety, my sanity, my spirituality, whatever it means to you means more than the conditions of what you're living.
Yeah.
And even if that means uncomfortable changes, look at the outcome of how's the life going for you right now.
Yeah.
If you're in a relationship and somebody is abusive or somebody is cheating on you or somebody is just disrespectful and doesn't value you, how is that going? Is it worth staying? What's for what? And I do understand, y'all. There are people that are like, financially, I can't leave.
Yeah. I'm trapped.
I feel I've got kids or I've got this job or whatever it is, and they literally don't feel like they have an option.
Yeah. And that's real. Mm-hmm. And I've got clients like that they feel like they can't leave, but and so maybe you can't quit, maybe you can't leave at that moment, but you can figure out, okay, what, my intention is to set myself free of this, and you can change how you're responding to the situation or the moment. But there is a way out. There is eventually a way that you're going to be able to find your way out of this situation, if you're willing to choose the healthy road.
Right.
But I think this is codependent dynamic that goes on, and these people are just almost enabling each other to continue to stay stuck in that rut. And without a change of environment or a change of scenery or a change of people really can't change.
You mentioned something that I want to make a point to. You said change of environment.
Yes.
Sometimes people think, I just need a fresh new start. And so they think if they move, like physically go somewhere else,
Yeah.
But the problem is if you don't clear up your energy, your whatever it is, you take that with you.
That's right.
So it's only a matter of time before all of that stuff resurfaces. So, starting over is about, figuring out, like, how can I restart? How can I restart patterns, programs, relationships that are working or not working? Give yourself the permission to make changes.
Yeah.
Like, whatever that means, even if that means, I'm going to get up at 5:30 and I'm going to have 30 minutes of just meditation or just my alone time. That's a start over moment.
It is. I know someone that was had some court orders a year ago and things like this, a drug charge, and they did not follow through with their probation, so they got arrested. And it wasn't for present time issues; it was from the past and never got resolved.
Right.
But that was a 2-week reset moment for this person. So it's like that might be the bottom. But notice how again, the change of scenery, the sobriety, the enforcement of sobriety, because you can't party in jail. Like, you have to literally sit there, and what do you do in jail? Think. You're going to be forced to think. But that might be. There's so many options, I think, in life that kind of throw you into time for you to reset yourself, time for you to start over, right? Mm-hmm. And the universe, I do believe, is always championing us, always working on our behalf, in our favor, conspiring in our favor. So I watch people create these moments of they think they could never leave the relationship, they can never walk away from that marriage or something until something like this happens, and it forces reality onto them.
Yeah.
And who are you going to be in the future if you don't change this now?
Right.
Yeah.
Try this on for size. Camille and I were talking about this, and it has really made an impact in my life. And I think as we learn, as we're at a stage of learning, things land on us differently.
Yeah.
What may resonate with you may not resonate with me.
Right.
But, this speaker was talking about everything that we want has already been created. So if you were going for a hike and you came upon this huge field and you were standing on the edge of it and you looked out over this field and, oh my goodness, you could see all these versions of you. You could see you in that new car that you want, or you could see you in a happy job, or you could see you with a pet that you want, or, whatever it is.
Yeah. Sober.
You get to decide, like, what version of me do I want to be today? What do I want to take on?
Yeah.
So instead of always staying in a mode of being the victim, that this person or this situation has happened, therefore that's why I am.
And I can't. Like people you hear, oh, I can't. I just can't. You can.
Right.
Yeah, you can.
Right. So your power comes in how you think and what you feel.
Yeah.
So your body will react to what it has been thinking about.
Yes.
And so when you think about, okay, I'm going to look out on this field today, it's the top of the morning, I want to feel successful, I want to feel supported, I want to feel, whatever it is, and you embody those feelings, then those things start coming to you.
Yeah.
But think about, how are you talking about yourself, about your life, about the people in your life, if you're constantly complaining, constantly nagging, constantly bitching, whatever it is, about a situation. All the universe has to go on is that's what you want more of, because you keep talking about it.
That's your word. You're sourcing that from your word, right? Yeah. And it is true that I feel like you become who you hang out with. It's like the environment, the people you're with. And so if you can't separate yourself from that tribe, whatever that is, that tribe identity, and really tap into you and your own power, it's not likely you're going to be able to start over. You got to be able to separate, detach, and start over within yourself for there to be a change. And maybe you can inspire other people to go along with you or not. But it does require you to do what she's talking about, which is tapping into something external from yourself. And that there's a new possibility you can live into. But you have to believe that. You have to, like, if you can't believe that, you're going to be right no matter what you believe, right?
Yeah. I had my oncology appointment yesterday. And,
Yes.
They go through all your vitals and stuff. And she was like, wow, your oxygen is really high. Like, it's really good. It was over 100,
Good.
And the only thing I could think about was I really focus on breathing.
Yeah.
Because there's such a mindset clearing when you allow that energy to come into your heart and you pull it up to your brain and so forth. So I would encourage you to go on YouTube and find some,
Good.
You can find things on breathing. But what that does is that's a reset. It gets you out of a space of constantly thinking about what's wrong. Because you're taking in so much energy, taking in so much oxygen that you're kind of flooding it out. And so as Camille, you talk about this first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yep. So I go, well, look at the sun. I mean, I'm outside on the front porch in my pajamas. My neighbors think I'm probably crazy, but I am breathing. I breathe deep breathing. I'm meditating. I'm talking to God, and I'm letting that sunlight hit my face and my eyes. I am absorbing those rays. That red light you only get usually in the morning, like that. Yeah.
And so you're actually clearing an energy.
Yes.
And another thing that we talk about individually in our practices, but also together and on this podcast, is what you think about before you go to sleep.
Yes.
If you're having a fight with somebody, or you're having an argument, or you're trying to take care of emails, you're going to marinate on that all night long.
Yeah.
Well, that subconscious mind is going to dictate what your next tomorrow and the next day is, because we think from that. We don't necessarily think from our awakening state. We think from a subconscious state. So what you go to bed listening to, or what you go to bed thinking about, is so important, because it sets you up for the next day. So my advice is, get out a piece of paper or talk it into your phone. But when you write, you're more focused. But go over, like, give yourself, I'm going to write a page of things that I'm thankful for.
Yes.
When you find yourself in gratitude, remember gratitude is an energy. It's not something you're supposed to do because mom tells you to do it. It's an energy. So when you stay in that energy of gratitude,
You're attracting.
more. Yeah, you get more things to be grateful for.
Yes, that's right.
And then if that is the last thing you think about while you're sleeping, guess what's happening while you're asleep? Your brain is thinking about more things to be thankful for. And it's recognizing, well, the universe, we know through the law of attraction, the universe goes, here's more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's more.
That's right.
If you can't find yourself to do that, go on YouTube and find affirmations or find loops of 8 hours of things that you can listen to that are reprogramming your thoughts. Especially if you're in relationship problems, if you're in financial problems, if you're just in a mode of thinking based on living life. We can be, we can be a subject to our upbringing, to our cultural, experience around us.
Product for environment, totally.
You talked about, who you hang out with. Maybe your environment isn't very healthy.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, right? But you can reprogram yourself.
Absolutely. Well, and you talk about gratitude. When you're in a state of gratitude, you resist nothing. You're not resisting anyone. See, and if you're in a state of resistance causes persistence. It also causes pain. So it's like inflammation, So there's some sort of resistance to that. But if you're resisting your reality, resisting who you are, what you are, you're in fear, you're in some sort of dark emotion. That's what you're sourcing and creating more of. Yeah. When you're in gratitude, you're just in surrender. Yeah. And you're allowing the energy to just create what it's supposed to create. Sometimes it's like you're just kind of you trust the universe, you trust what's happening, and as you trust it, then you know that you're taken care of. And that's that state of surrender.
If this were a stick, it's clearly not. But if this were a stick and you have a problem, and you have a solution, you can't focus on both at the same time.
That's right.
Which one are you focused on?
That's right.
If you focus on the solution, sometimes you don't get the solution in your head right away, but when you're in gratitude, then all of a sudden it opens floodgates where you can start getting ideas and answers to things that you didn't know you were searching for.
That's right.
Simply because you're not offering resistance to it.
Right. And as you surrender and you're in that gratitude, I'm telling you that's where I feel like my higher power talks to me. Because I'm not in charge. I don't know it all. I'm not upset. I'm just like, you know what? And this is when I can just give it up. I'm going to give it to God. I myself am not going to be able to manage this situation, God. Yeah. I give it away. Because if I don't, it's just going to eat at me. Like she says, all the time, it'll just stay in your system.
It stays in there. And so really when you are feeling powerless, you're not.
Yeah.
You feel that way because you've allowed that emotion to come in.
Yeah.
You've allowed that thought process and patterns to tell you, that you are, and maybe it is your surroundings, maybe it is the people in your life, maybe it is your job, whatever it is. But just know, we talked about this last week, you have the power to look at somebody in the eye and act like you're listening and not.
Yeah, you could do that.
You just do. You know what I'm saying? Because no one has the power of your thoughts.
No.
No religion, no song.
Nope.
No movie. Nobody has the power to make it stay. Yeah. You have the power to always change, which is what starting over is. Starting over isn't about going to the gym every day and start over and go. No, it's about your mindset.
Yeah.
Where do you want to be and how do you want to feel?
Yeah. Your mood set and your mindset. And when you can reset yourself and know that you can get back to some sort of center, some sort of gratitude, some sort of peace. That from that state, from coming from that, from core, your source in a way, you're allowing the universe to be whatever it's supposed to be. If you can accept things as they are, you see it as it is, you're not going to be fighting anyone or anything.
Right.
And then manifestation is so much easier.
Right.
When we counsel clients, and we, y'all are free to contact us and have both of us coach you or individually, Gretchen coaches or I coach. We're looking at what you're resisting. What are you fighting? Because that's what you need to kind of reset yourself around. That's running you. That owns you. And so we do an assessment to see what's in control over you in your life. What are you resisting? What are you running from? Because that right there traps your power. It traps your light.
Right.
We're about setting you free and getting you to see that nothing really has power over you unless you let it.
Right.
That's what starting over coaching is all about.
And so when you just wrapping up these thoughts, you don't ever want to be give yourself the label of I am this way because of this.
Right.
No, we know plenty of stories where people have overcome,
Yes.
and maybe much, much more dire straits than what
Yes.
we've ever experienced, but they have overcome.
That's right.
And they've overcome always with their mindset first.
Yeah. That's right.
And I know from a health point of view, but many people that, couldn't walk and they just visually saw themselves. They saw themselves so much. This is just an example that
Yeah.
their body felt them doing it. I was just talking with Aaron. My boyfriend's a race car driver, and he was talking about he was on this one pass and the computer went out.
Oh dear.
And he said, I had rehearsed so many times in my mind when to do the switch and the pedal and all that kind of stuff, that he said, I listened to the car and I could figure out when to do it.
Brilliant.
And he said, but that was an automatic response because I had already trained my mind so much
Practiced.
that my body knew what to do.
Yeah.
That's life, y'all. That is all this is. Abraham Hicks always says there's nothing serious going on. And I know that's hard to hear when you've got major serious stuff going on. But what that means is the power that Camille is talking about. God that lives in you is your power.
Yeah.
And you create with that power. You're not helpless.
That's right.
Never are you helpless.
There's
Never
always a
are you
choice.
alone.
Yeah,
You
you have a choice.
always have that help.
Yeah.
You just have to believe it, And so when you have these feelings, and it comes from your heart and you feel like, oh my gosh, it feels like it's going to explode. That is the inner God in you going, truth. This
Yes.
is truth.
Yes.
So again, it's the scale. When you have that alignment, you feel truth. When you are out of alignment, you don't feel good.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we're all about, is realigning you, getting your life purpose in front of you so you know exactly why you're really here, what you're really doing on planet Earth. And we would love to coach you if you want to get a hold of us at our website. Well, you're welcome to. It's startingovercommunications.com. And you can also email us at startingovercommunications@gmail.com.
Appreciate it, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.